Hey everyone, welcome to another AI conversation, and I'm happy to be joined today by actually a colleague. As many of you know, I've been working actively in the BPO, call it IT BPM na pala, IT BPM sector, and so I'm happy to welcome Jenny Marshall, who I met in IBPAP. Welcome to the show, Jenny.
Thank you, Doc. It's nice to be here with you in your podcast. It's been long delayed,
Oo nga,
but
sorry.
I'm excited to join the conversation.
Actually, that's on me to be honest. No. Anyway, so we were talking offline earlier, Jenny. One of the first things we spoke about when we first met was basically the roadmap for the BPO sector. So I was wondering, as someone who's been looking at this for some time, and also I'll be keen to hear from you your own story. No, pero ano muna tayo, industry level. What's your sense of the
Mhm.
BPO sector right now? Or I keep saying BPO. What's your sense of the IT BPM sector right now?
ITBPM, yeah, yeah,
How have we done? Where are we going? Ano bang meron?
yeah. So it's been a long journey for the ITBPM industry, no? Actually, yung mas sanay nga tayo dun sa term na BPO, business process outsourcing. But it actually I think it had to transition at some point. It was intentional for
Oo.
the industry leaders to transition and use the term business process management instead of outsourcing because there was a negative perception about outsourcing globally. Diba?
Mm.
Kasi ang usual perception is that we're taking jobs away from other people from other countries.
Right.
So um it was actually intentional to change it to IT BPM
Mhm. 'Di ba
during the siguro mga I was
ilan
still
yun?
with IP Pap at the time when we did that change of terms.
Yeah, I remember because
So
I'm not sure how many people know this. I worked briefly in a bank shared services. No, it's another term people use. And then
mm.
nauso din dati yung term na KPO. Remember that? Knowledge process
Oh yeah.
versus
Oh, knowledge
BPO.
process outsourcing.
So did that term? Well, obviously I don't hear that term anymore. No, and did you remember that term
Mm-hmm.
and how it was being used?
Yeah, of course, of course. Oo. Actually, it's still being used now eh.
Mm.
If you see yung mga, lalo na yung mga like, in discussions with government when it comes to policy,
Mm-hmm.
parang there's a perception na KPO is more higher value than the usual BPO kasi the perception with BPO is that uh, it might only be the more basic services like contact center work, mga transactional, mga ganyan.
I would love
But
to debunk or demystify all of that, no? If we can talk about it, no? Pero sige, sorry, I interrupted you.
mhm.
You were saying KPO
Yeah,
is
yeah.
high value and
No,
BPO
kasi
is not.
oo, kasi when we talk about IT BPM, there's a tendency to segregate the different sectors in
Yeah,
IT BPM,
yeah.
'di ba? So there can be you can segment according to the type of tasks or functions being performed. Like they say there's LPO, legal process outsourcing, 'di ba?
LPO, okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
oo, LPO. So um there's outsourcing of human resources. So sometimes they tend to segment depending on the functions.
Yeah. Sige. I mean,
Mm-mm.
maybe we should. I mean, I'm personally curious, no, as someone who's been in the industry for so long. I won't say how long. um, how did you get started? This was probably not your first gig, no, as an industry, if I'm not mistaken. Ano ba yung naging journey?
Yeah, oo. Actually, it's been a long journey for me. Not to date myself, ha. So I've been
Delikado.
through several, oo. Bak ayoko mamin. So I've been through different industries already. I've been with so the earlier jobs is like administrative work with the pesticide industry, and then I had a brief hiatus, and then I moved to advertising. I became a media director. So that was an interesting period for me. I was both behind the cameras, like I was working on if you remember yung mga pull-out section ng newspaper, we
Mm.
call it supplements.
Yeah.
So those were mga projects ko in the earlier days. So I was writing articles, I was doing advertising, and then I was also an advertising model at the time. So I was a
Mukhang
commercial
halata pa
model.
naman eh. Don't worry.
So those were the days. I did that I think for several years, medyo matagal. And then I moved to the hotel industry
Mhm.
uh in the marketing and advertising. So that was the start of my PR journey, public relations. No,
PR.
I
Okay.
was doing media relations, and then so that's why I have I have a few friends in the media too, in the press. And then I moved to the retail industry um for a local conglomerate.
Yeah.
That was corporate and PR. And then I was so the transitions were in part because of yung mga poaching, no? So I was given uh better opportunities. So that's why I moved to different industries then. So from the retail, I was still doing PR at the time. And then I moved to the IT BPM industry. I was given better opportunities. Supposedly, the original work was supposed to be in PR too. So I was offered senior PR position, but I saw that so fairly new ang PR for the IT BPM industry at the time. And then I saw that very low key. If you notice, very low key ang industry no IT BPM. We don't really seek media attention, 'di ba? We parang if when it comes especially to the private companies, private IT BPM companies, there's a tendency to shy away from mga attention ng press, 'di ba, ng media. We don't usually come out with mga news sa lifestyle section or yung mga headline news. It's normally confined lang sa ICT sections of the newspaper or business sections, 'di ba?
You
Very
know,
conservative siya.
I
So
tend to agree. I tend to agree. Parang it's
mm.
like our secret eh. The secret industry that's apparently powering the rest of the economy.
Yeah,
No? Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah. 'Di ba? Parang sometimes you wonder for such a big industry contributing 9% of the country's GDP, pero we're not very visible, 'di ba? In terms of ano, parang you don't often see um features or newspaper articles na in terms of sa lifestyle, a day in the life of a BPO worker, di ba? You just see it parang individual YouTube, ano lang, mga videos of workers, no? Mga private videos sila na parang doing work from home or how did I pass the interview? How did I enter the BPO industry? 'Di ba? Pero yung intention, yung mga news about the companies itself, they're normally the IT BPM companies are very conservative. You'd have to go through the whole hierarchy to get an approval for the simplest maybe news or press or a news article, 'di ba? I've experienced that. So I eventually discovered na I won't be able to accomplish anything as PR person in an IT BPM company. So I was worried kasi then what would my KPIs look like, 'di ba? Parang I wouldn't have any accomplishment to speak of. So I looked for opportunities yung what can I possibly contribute to the company. So that's when I saw na there's a need for um, someone working with government kasi At the time, it was, I think, it was President Pinoy's time.
Hmm.
So there were a lot of conversations going on kasi the industry was growing exponentially at the time. Ang bilis ng growth natin noon eh, double digit growth.
Yeah.
But there was for that specific ITBPM company, so I was working with Sutherland at the time. There was nobody handling government relations, external affairs, nobody uh uh creating that relationship with government, and there was that opportunity, there was that need, because there was a C-level executive in Sutherland that constantly wanted to meet with government officials, no. So I saw the need, and then so I tweaked my title a little. So instead of ER, I became external affairs, a senior manager for external affairs at the time. So that was around mga 2010.
Ayan, you dated yourself na.
2010. Yeah. Sa akin din ang galing. So
No, no,
yun.
sige.
And
Can
then
I ask
I
a
was,
question on that note? So,
yeah,
yung point
go
mo
ahead.
about the industry being quiet, silently just chugging along, and then the need to talk to
Mm,
government, because I think that's still the same story today, no, for the most part. Most people are
yes.
not aware na may ganyan palang work. And even if they were, parang the way the work is perceived is very strange, no? I mean, I can relate to this personally. So, did you experience that, or is that something that you wanted to fix, or during your time as a PR practitioner in an IT-BPM company?
Yeah, yeah. I guess in a way, kasi the perception about yung function na yon, like external affairs or someone doing government relations, Um, in a way kasi affected siya nung ano eh. That's why we're very sort of silent about it.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi it's not a recognized business function in the Philippines. If you think about it, 'di ba? Lobbying is not recognized as a legitimate work,
Role, yeah.
legitimate job in the
Uh,
Philippines. 'Di ba? I mean, as
para siyang
against compared to the
sideline.
US, yeah, you can register in the US. They look at it very ano, 'di ba? It's a very respectful occupation, lobbying, 'di ba?
Mm.
You can register as a lobbyist in the US. Here there's no such thing, 'di ba?
Kasi I think there's a,
So
and
we
I don't
call
know
it,
if you will agree, no? Parang there's a very shady perception pag if 'di ba you do lobbying, parang dating parang parang you're trying to get the government to give you special attention, which to be honest is actually the real job. Pero
yeah,
it's
yeah,
laced with some suspicion na ba't mo kinakausap yung gobyerno? I mean, you're trying to get some favors. Pero abroad, that's normal, you know.
yeah,
Kunyari, tobacco gets
yeah,
lobby,
exactly.
IT gets lobby. So talagang
Exactly,
it's a
exactly.
normal job, no?
And it actually started, I actually learned about the term, kung yung origin of the term in the US when I was invited by the State Department to join the International Visitors Leadership Program for
Yeah.
cybersecurity. They took us around Washington, D.C. And then they showed us the hotel where that term actually originated. So one of the US presidents actually called the government relations people lobbyists
Uh-huh.
because they would always wait for him in the lobby of a hotel
Right.
sa DC. So that's why it became
Was this
lobbying.
related to, syempre, one of the most popular hotels in government was the Watergate Hotel.
Yeah,
Kind of a
yeah,
euphemism na for any shady government deals, no? Like something with
yeah, yeah.
okay. Sige, sige. So
Ayun.
going back to
So
your
I
role.
guess
Balikan natin. Yeah, go
especially
ahead.
especially with the IT BPM industry growing so exponentially, no? Those were exciting times. Na parang double digit growth, and then there was no parang move to this industry. Even my parents were dissuading me. They were they were telling me na parang uh what's that company about? Is it a real estate company? What do they do? ano ba yung BPO industry? What exactly do they do? So there was not much known about the industry at the time. So especially when we're moving to the provinces, no, if for the for your viewers awareness lang, no, the industry brought so much growth and economic activity to the provinces, but not without the usual headaches. Kasi as I said nga, not much was known about the industry at the time. So there were times now we would try to grow. We would open a site in the provinces like Davao or Camarines Sur and the talagang far-flung provinces where there was not much economic activity at the time. And then the people we would hire, of course, we would do job fairs there. There would be big launch activities. Yung mga tao that we would hire there, there were so many times na kinabukasan they would resign.
Mm.
Why? Because the
Mhm.
parents were, Filipino families eh. Of course, the parents still had that big say in the careers of their children. So there were a lot of times na yung hinire mo the day before would resign the day after. Why? Kasi the parents would say, nako, hindi natin alam ano pang gagawin mo dyan sa industry. Bakit pang gabi yung work? 'Di ba?
Yeah.
I didn't put you through college para lang maging telephone operator. Yung mga ganong perception, there were a lot of negative perceptions about the industry. And I think some still persist until now,
Mhm.
no?
Mhm.
So there were times na parang, nako, ang balita ko dyan kasi indiscriminate sex, mga ganyan. Mga tao dyan, puro heavy smokers. So baka ano ka lang dyan, magkasakit ka lang dyan.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of those talks. So we had employees resigning, lalo na sa provinces na parang, nako, wag ka dyan mag-work. Hindi natin alam yan. Baka next year wala ka ng work kasi very temporary. Wala namang footprint yan or wala namang malaking that's a very new industry. We wouldn't know kung makakasurvive yan dito sa Philippines, di ba? So,
You
yun.
know, I had a similar experience on two fronts. No, one was obviously my own experience. So I worked in a bank shared services for several years. Before that, I was in a but that we said proper bank. We had a proper bank job, and then
Yeah,
now
yeah, yeah.
now I'm in a BPO bank. The stigma was real, no. And then on a second front,
Yeah, yeah,
I had a youngest brother who took nursing, and for some, I guess, unfortunate reason, couldn't find a job as a nurse. As you know, nursing is an interesting field. And then,
yeah.
he found his footing in a BPO. Became a call center agent, then
Mm,
quickly became a
oh,
team
nice.
lead, 'di ba? And then naging training lead, and then operations manager. And now, wala na, he's bought a house, he's got a kid, built on top of that career, no? And yung wife din niya worked
Wow.
also in a shared services. Basically, people are, kumbaga, we have to stop being surprised that these things are possible. It's a proper job, no? And you're correct.
Yeah,
Sometimes the
yeah,
stigma is real, no?
yeah. It's true. Actually, when I was offered that position and I moved to the IT BPM industry, no, one of the factors why I made that decision to move is because of the many benefits being offered by the industry. I mean, honestly, I was the breadwinner at the time, eh.
Mm-hmm.
And so I already experienced working as an expat for a few months, no, in a foreign country. And it was so sad, actually. It was tragic. I usually share about it when we were doing the roadshows in the earlier days.
Mm-hmm.
Na parang I had to be away from my family. And at the time, my youngest was only 2 years old. I had to work
Mm-hmm.
in Jakarta.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the opportunities nga, of course, bigger pay, and then all the benefits as an expat. So, syempre malaki yung kita, no? So, and I had like 5 kids, 5 boys.
Mm-hmm.
So, malaking expense as a breadwinner, no? Um, and then when this opportunity came to me, I was offered that position in the IT BPM industry, believe it or not, the package was comparable
Not too far
to
off,
the
no?
package of an expat.
You know that
And
that's so true.
definitely
That's so true. The pay is much better in
yeah,
general.
yeah. And I mean the industry really takes care not just of the employee. They don't just take care of the employee, but they take care of the whole family.
Mm.
At the time I was working in the retail with a conglomerate. And I was even parang I had a, 'di ba, we have the health card, health insurance is a big thing for
Mm.
us, especially if you have a family. I was the only one with a health card. And I had to pay 50% of the premium. So hati pa kami nung employer
Ang
ko.
employer, yeah, yeah.
Oo, so when I was when the ITBPM this company gave me the offer. So I was really impressed, no? Kasi um they offered me an HMO, yung health card, health insurance. But all members of the family, my kids below 21 years old, all enjoyed the benefit of an HMO.
Covered.
So that was a very big thing at the time, no?
Mm.
And they assured me na I'll be taken care of. The family would be taken care of. So that was really awesome for me. I mean, it took a load off my shoulders in a way because I am knowing that if they get sick, we wouldn't have to worry about hospital bills, diba? So that
You know,
was a big thing.
in many ways, it's like being an expat but based in the Philippines, parang ganun, no? It's like or being an
Exactly, without the social cost, diba?
yeah, and or being an OFW based in the Philippines. In fact,
Yeah,
macroeconomically, the OFW and the BPO sector are our largest sources of foreign currency na, no, in the Philippines. So in a way,
exactly, exactly. Oo.
and it says a lot actually there because it's good and bad. It says a lot about how opportunity works sa Pilipinas. Talagang you really need to look for or right now the best opportunities are anything that makes money overseas, whether you're an OFW or a BPO, which is basically overseas revenue, which says a lot about
Right, right.
how much we need to develop then the local industries. Kasi ang nangyayari ngayon, I can speak from
Yeah,
experience.
yeah, exactly.
Yung lipat ko from local banking to BPO banking was a loss for the local banking industry, 'di ba? But for me
Mm-hmm.
it was
Exactly.
a gain, you know. I got recognized, I got priced properly in terms of my talent, and I actually did. I can
Mm-hmm.
relate to what you were saying. I did a fair amount of traveling. Easily 75% travel yung naging first few years ko in the BPO industry. I think I had traveled more in 1 year than I had traveled in 11 years
Mm, right.
in a such a setup, no. So anyway, of course, okay, going back to you. So
Yeah,
how I mean so you did the external affairs job and part of it was parang fixing this stigma or perception of the industry. Um
right. And
where do
we
you
were at the
yeah,
time we were trying to market the jobs kasi it was hard to recruit at the time. I mean, can you imagine in those earlier days, the industry was only getting parang 25% of the graduate population.
okay.
Uh, that small percentage, they were the only ones open to a career in the BPO industry. We were still calling it BPO at the time.
Mm,
So the industry was only getting 25% of the graduate population. And of that 25% of the graduates na open to a career in the industry, only around 10% at most were qualified. Were passing the application process.
mm-hmm.
No? So we were only getting a very small margin of the graduate population or even the undergrads at the time.
Has that
So we
improved
were we
nowadays?
were
I
um
mean, just thinking out loud. So we were getting 1 out of 4. Ngayon ba has it become 50-50 o hindi pa rin?
not 50-50. Still
Mm.
not 50-50. There's still, as you said nga, no, there's still a stigma. There's still that stigma attached to the industry na parang it's a stopgap career. It's not a career actually. They don't normally people still don't look at it as a career. Parang for the meantime, while if you're applying abroad, or while you're waiting for that dream offer, that dream job, um, dito muna ako. Let's try this muna for the meantime.
Parang
So
it's like a parking lot for your
it's just
CV.
something to put. Yeah, yeah, oo, oo, oo. Parang just a means of survival, na parang uh, just to just so I can pay the bills, or just to put food on the table. Um, some still don't look at it as a career, as a lucrative career. But what people don't know actually is that in the industry, parang this is the only industry that where you'll see call center agents, technical support agents, um, from that rank and file positions, rise to become vice presidents in 7 years.
Hmm.
There's no
Job
other
mobility.
industry that can give you that, di ba? Ako, wala akong kilala personally, professionally, wala akong kilala na mga executives who rose to that position in such a short time. Parang normally, vice president ka, what, almost retirable ka na, di ba? Takes you
Yeah.
what, 20 years,
Yeah,
di
true.
ba?
That's so true. Yeah, tsaka ano rin eh, part of it is also the growth because the growth was so and it continues to surpass parang expectations and the economy. Parang matakaw din to use a term, matakaw din yung industry sa talent. You know, we need a lot of talent. So
Right,
people tend to be
right.
young and move up quickly. And actually that put me I keep relating it to my own experience. Put me somewhat at odds with some of my peers in banking because
Mm, right.
even though I was in shared services, I get invited to these banking events. And you're correct, no? I was, when I got out of that job, I was a C-level equivalent, easily 15 or 10 years younger than my peers in local banking.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was
Oo, di ba?
I was a punk in my late 30s and I was talking to people in their 50s or late 40s.
Yeah,
Uh,
oo.
and
That's even
syempre,
young eh, yung 50s eh, di ba? Some of them
oo,
are.
mga pushing
Oo.
60 na nga yung iba eh. So, yung pang
Oo,
kaya
oo,
kaya
oo.
yung leveling eh nakakatawa eh. The leveling is really
Right, right.
really fascinating eh.
Oo. And I remember before when we were working on so I did mention, di ba, I handled external affairs, government relations. So when I moved to IPPAP, um, I was constantly being invited to, or consulted even, by government partners to give inputs. Kasi for many of our sectors, um, of course, the IT BPM industry contributed a lot to the economy. I think we mentioned that earlier, di ba? And we were sort of because of the big disposable income of our employees, a lot of the sectors counted on us as their clients. Na parang if you ask around, di ba, parang sino ang mga sino ang mga biggest clients ng hotel industry? Travel
Mm,
and tourism, di ba? So
mm,
normally they would target our industry, IT BPM industry, because of the very young population and the big disposable income,
yeah.
di ba? And I would find myself attending this mga hearings, Senate hearings, because our policymakers don't really understand at the time, no, they didn't really understand what the industry was about, how come it's growing so fast. Yun yung question, no, na parang bakit ang bilis lumaki nito,
Mm,
no?
mm,
And then even the banking sectors, I was getting invited to meet with the high level executives, the mga president and board and the different mga leaders of the different departments ng banks, to explain na parang is it real, is the growth real, 'di ba? Are we hearing it, are we reading it correctly sa mga news na your industry is growing what, 15%? Parang it didn't seem real, no? So I had to do a lot of presentations na parang it's real because especially sa banks, they wanted to know, should we go into this parang investment, 'di ba? Should we do this mga activities, or should we invest in this industry? They wanted to verify if the growth is real and if it will keep growing. Na parang what is the growth trajectory? What are we looking at? What can we expect? And even in terms of policy, no, we were getting consulted na parang um is it right na parang should we regulate? Should we try to control? Kasi if you if you notice, no, pag mga Asian countries, yung governments natin have a tendency to try to regulate a lot. They have a they try to control a lot. And I learned the difference when I was in the US. Na parang I was saying na parang, why are you trying to privatize this specific function? Kasi in our country, the government usually tries to regulate.
Yeah.
And I saw the difference between the two types of government, pag developed country and pag medyo developing pa lang, di ba?
So wait, what's
So
the
I
main
was
difference? The
I
main
was
difference is the more developed countries tend to not regulate, tama ba? And then the least.
yeah, oo.
That's so
They
ironic.
try to
Yeah.
like yeah, I had one meeting there when I was in the US na parang we met with this agency in charge of the
Mm-hmm.
domain names of the ano, 'di ba, for sa IT. And they were privatizing at the time. So they were going through that transition. They were privatizing that specific function, the task. And I
Yeah.
said, why do you want private companies or why do you want the private sector to be the one to manage this? Parang doesn't the government want to control it,
Yeah.
ganyan, or regulate? And they were saying, no, because in our government, in developed countries, the government tries to deregulate or they try to empower the private sector as much as possible.
Yeah.
Whereas in our economies, because I was with several representatives of different Asian countries, so we noticed the difference.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about it as delegates for that program, we discovered na parang, oh, more or less, our governments were the same. The governments try to regulate or control as much as possible. Whereas we were in the US and the government was more relaxed, di ba? They were more, uh, they empower the private sector more.
I have a
So
question.
when I was doing those talks, yeah,
Yes. Yes. Again, just to interrupt. Um, this interesting difference between the way government treats sectors abroad and then here. Why do you think that's the case? Did you ever figure it out? Because I'm also curious about that. Parang we're very restrictive where we should be more
mm,
liberal. And then baliktad, we're also liberal
right,
where we should be strict, no? Parang may mismatch ng treatment.
yeah, yeah, right. Um, I guess it's more, yun nga I think it's more about control
Mm.
Parang they want to be in control,
Okay.
na they think by restricting a certain sector, they're controlling it. Not realizing, sometimes they don't realize na by controlling it, you're also restricting the growth You're stifling the growth, di
Yeah.
ba?
Yeah.
So there was a time, I remember when we were working with government. So I wouldn't say lobbying
Mm.
So we were working with government on the ICT bill. At the time, it was still a bill.
Yeah.
So the ICT bill, it took President Pinoy a really long time. He didn't want to sign it into law. So it was taking him a long time until in the last, I think in the last month or right before he stepped down, I was called by the DTI secretary at the time, si Secretary Greg Domingo.
Mm.
So I was called to a meeting. Um, Not sure if other sectors were there, but I remember it was a very small meeting. I think only 4 or 5 of us were there. Karamihan puro taga DTI.
Yeah.
And they were asking na parang, are you sure you want this bill signed into law? Yung DICT, which gave rise to the Department of ICT, no?
Yeah.
So parang, I was saying na parang, yeah, because, um, we made sure naman na it wouldn't stifle the growth of the industry. So we actually went through the whole bill and we took out all the all the words related to regulate.
Right, right, right.
So we thought it would be as simple as that. Na parang if you remove all the words pertaining to regulate, regulatory, 'di ba? Or any of those terms, then the agency, once it is created, won't try to control.
Oo.
Won't try to control our industry. Because I was saying na parang, yeah, we need an agency that would really be specific to IT-BPM because we're growing a lot and we need an agency that would be our champion, the industry's champion. So we can grow faster, we can grow more. Uh, there would be an agency dedicated to, supporting the needs of the IT-BPM industry at the time. And then I remember Secretary Domingo specifically told me na, Jenny, once you create a government agency, once you create an agency, regardless of what terms are in the law itself, that agency will always have the tendency to control and to regulate. Even if you remove all the terms in that law, even if you try to make sure that it won't have that power, but it will. It will have that tendency to regulate. So, yeah, those were his words, yung warning niya sa akin no, at the time.
Yeah, I think
So that was very interesting.
it maybe it's something we can relate to artificial intelligence eventually. Kasi nga right now even the DICT I would say struggles with the AI. And we don't have parang supporting laws like the Data Privacy Act, the Cybercrime Prevention Act.
Yeah.
So these are the two most parang data oriented, no. Walang AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was intentional. Avoid mentioning it kasi nga it's a bigger space and
Yeah, yeah.
so I wanna pick your
And
brain on
I
that.
think when you were talking about Data Privacy Act and Cybercrime Prevention Act, I was also I played a big part of that, no? Kasi it was enacted during my time in ITPAC. So we were working closely with both houses, with Senator Ed Angara at the time and Congressman Roman Romulo, who were both authors of those bills, no? Especially the Data Privacy Act. So I think kasi government has parang I mean, imagine, wala na nga silang masyadong very clear idea about the industry. They don't have a very clear understanding of our industry. Tapos, papasukan mo pa ng very specific laws na ganyan, di ba? Data privacy, cybercrime prevention, what exactly is cybercrime? Parang ano yung what constitutes a cybercrime. That's why at the during the BICAM talks nasingitan isiningit pa yung pati yung libel, online libel, di ba? Mga ganyan. Those were last minute insertions na hindi namin nakita during the deliberations about the bill itself. So, when we talk about AI, I think at the time, nobody among our policymakers had any idea about AI. Kasi after those bills were enacted, and with the new administration, di ba, with the administration of President Duterte at the time, they were even predicting na in 5 years' time, wala na yung industry niya.
Mhm.
Don't rely too much. Don't rely too much. I remember Secretary Dominguez at the time, no? He even issued a statement na don't depend on the IT-BPM industry too much because in 5 years' time, wala na yan because of uh, automation, robotic process automation, RPA, and the other technologies that were, you know, coming out at the time. So there was that prediction na ano yan. So and the same with AI, 'di ba? Na parang in with AI, the call center would be a thing of the past.
Yeah,
Kasi
we hear
the
that a lot, no.
AI would be the ones doing the job. So, 'di
Oo.
ba? Oo,
Actually,
I mean,
it
and
bears
we always
repeating
say
eh.
na parang,
Oo.
yeah,
Yung
yeah.
yung
I mean,
yeah.
the industry has evolved over the years despite the dire predictions. It has
Yeah,
evolved.
my favorite pa rin, I keep
In
quoting
this,
this guy, si, forgot his name now, but he's the CEO of Telstra, the Australian telco. And galit sa call
ah, ah,
center
ah,
yun eh.
ah.
I mean, you can Google him. He said, call centers will be gone in 5 years because nga of AI. And sabi ko, wow, awan ng Diyos, that was 10 years ago. And we probably
Yeah,
grew by a million jobs since that time, no? If we look at the averages. So it's just fascinating how people are quick to write off that industry, this industry. Parang for me, it's connected
right,
eh. That
right.
it's stigma on the one hand and it's dire predictions on the other hand. Pero the reality is, it just continues to grow, and
Yeah, yeah,
there's a
exactly,
hidden pattern
exactly,
there.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, in the same manner, I always keep telling whenever people would say na parang, oh, sabi nitong ni ganyan, ni ganito, in 5 years, wala na kayo because of automation, because of AI, because of all the technologies that are, being developed. And I would say, noon nga, parang 20 years ago nga, we were only doing directory assistance. We were just doing, data encoding, di ba? Pero now, I mean, if you look at the very wide menu of services that we could do from the Philippines, I mean, we do everything. Di ba? Who would have thought na 20 years ago we would do legal process outsourcing? Lawyers here would be studying laws of different countries because they do legal process outsourcing. Or who would have thought na we would be doing engineering outsourcing? We would be doing architectural work. We would be outsourcing architectural work. I mean, nobody would have thought that, diba?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we're in different channels now. We're doing omni-channel uh, delivery of services.
Mm-hmm.
So it has evolved a lot, and it will continue to evolve. I mean, um, I'm sure other people think otherwise, no? But it will continue to evolve and it will continue to grow.
There's a very
Yeah,
striking similarity between those who talk badly about contact centers and IT BPM and those who talk badly about AI. Kasi there's also those people. And
right,
the
right.
common characteristic between the people who talk badly about stuff are people who probably are not involved. So the negative stuff about ITBPM are
Right.
those from outside the sector. And the negative stuff about AI, especially generative AI, are people who actually do not even use it.
Mm.
It's really funny. I even have
Yeah,
colleagues
yeah, yeah.
who I will not name who are prominent in analytics. Halata naman din na sila nag-AI but they seem to want to have an opinion about it. And I'm thinking, c'est la vie. Point ko, bahala kayo dyan.
Yeah.
Lalabas naman ng totoo eh, 'di ba? Your ignorance will be your
Uh,
your downfall, no? But
correct, correct.
it's fascinating how it shakes down. So again, I want to go back to your journey, no? So you've gone through career shifting into IT BPM, lobbying with government, and then now maybe what are your some of the lessons and tips you can give to aspiring, IT BPM people who are building their careers? No? How would you advise them, knowing what you know now?
Yeah. Well, continue learning. As we mentioned earlier, di ba? You have to, in the same way that the industry is evolving, continuing to evolve with technology, you also have to keep evolving with it, di ba? So if you're not familiar, I think kasi the fear, the false ideas that they have about AI is more born out of fear because they don't understand it. They're not familiar with it. So it's usually if you don't understand something, then you become scared of it, diba? Or it might take away my job. So in the same manner, employees of the industry, you have to continue evolving with the industry. So if AI is the way to go, if everything is, and it makes work more efficient eh. I mean, I just Googled it before, siguro last year, and then I discovered, wow, it's really helpful. Di ba? And it makes your job so much easier. You just have to, yeah, you have to try. You have to, if you use the right prompts, it will help you a lot, diba? I mean, you just have to try and learn as much as you can about it. So yun, if you want to have a lot of opportunities in the industry, continue evolving, continue learning, and don't be scared of grabbing opportunities, no? Parang if you see a good opportunity and you think you can grow by grabbing that opportunity, go. I mean, there are a lot of opportunities in the industry. You don't have to limit yourself.
Yeah. How do you,
There's always something new.
here's an interesting angle. Kasi nga, given everything we've talked about, kunyari, the stigma, blah, blah, blah. Um, how do you advise people how to deal with, how do you phrase it? How do you advise people on how they will deal with other people who have that, nga, those stigma, and most of the time it might even be their family, their friends, their peers.
Right, right,
Like, how did you
right.
do it, no? If you encountered that feedback, how do you do it?
Yeah. And I have encountered it, no? I mean, I have friends, yung mga doctor friends ko kasi I come from science background in
Mm-hmm.
college.
Mm-hmm.
So I have doctor friends who are saying na the rise in HIV cases is because of the industry. Because we practice indiscriminate sex daw. I
Mm-hmm.
said, no, we're just, you notice it more because of the big population.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're 1.7 million, diba? And
In
then,
one place, in one
because our,
industry. Mm-hmm.
in one place. And you notice it because our employees have health insurance, HMOs, and they use that health insurance. So
Mm-hmm.
they undergo testing and everything every year. They have annual physical exams. Whereas yung ibang employees in other industries, local companies, they don't have HMOs. They just have PhilHealth. So normally they don't go regular checkups. So you notice it more because you say na parang, oh, lahat ng yung mga heart attack cases, most are from the IT BPM industry. Why? Because they're the ones able to go to the hospitals to get treated eh.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the big numbers coming from, whereas you don't have any idea how many are actually from OFWs or how many are actually from the hotel or tourism industry. Diba? Kasi they
Yeah,
don't have that benefit.
and I'll be the first to point out the status of our healthcare data. It's very dangerous to make conclusions out of it, no, knowing how badly it's gathered. I mean, even during the pandemic, there's a lot of gaps, no?
Oh, especially during, diba? Especially during pandemic. I mean, you would wonder, parang they're collecting all this data.
Mm.
Pero, where are the numbers? Parang, who's doing the analytics?
Yeah.
Wala pala.
Okay. Sige. What about and I'm conscious that we're nearly at the hour, but we barely scratched the surface now. Where do you see it going? No. Obviously we're both sitting with IBPAP, and part of the conversation is parang roadmaps. Where do we see it? I mean, from where
Yeah,
you sit,
yeah,
what are things you're looking forward to or expecting, both positive and negative, if you want to talk about it?
yeah. So actually, in terms of no, you mentioned the roadmap.
Mm-mm.
I'm still very excited about the growth. I
Mm-mm.
mean, yung excitement that I used to feel before when I was actively working with IBPAP full time. It's still the same kind of excitement I have now because I know that, I mean, we're targeting 1.1 million new jobs by 2028.
Mm-hmm.
And I see it happening with the support of partners, no? Well, in terms of course, we're targeting, if you see the priority skills that we're trying to develop to make sure that we reach that 1.1 million new jobs, you'll see that these are really digital jobs. So we call it jobs of the future, diba? And AI is there at the top, no? And I think we will be able to reach that with the support of government partners, with international finance institutions, because I see us targeting the same we have the same goals go after those digital jobs. No? Leverage on the technology, the evolution of technology. We have to grab that opportunity and make sure that we're prepared for it. So that's why we're actually um we're having these discussions with government partners, like some of our um supportive government partners like Senator Sani Angara has actually volunteered to be our champion, no? So
Hmm.
that we can have access to government funding to fund all those digital skills, those the training and upskilling initiatives that we have, just to reach that 1.1 million new jobs for the industry. And what's even more exciting is that 50% of those new jobs will be in the provinces.
Yeah.
So that will really trigger and boost a lot of economic activity in those provincial locations because um I know that whenever we go out, I'm sure you also get approached, 'di ba? Na parang a lot of our local governments, provincial governments are really looking forward to hosting ITBPM companies.
Mm.
And if we don't have those, if our graduates don't have those digital skills, if they have no idea about AI, if they don't have any idea how to leverage AI, then how can we channel that growth into provincial locations, into the countryside, 'di ba? So we have to be prepared. We need the support of like congressmen or senators, different agencies to make sure that we are able to grow into the countryside and our employees are prepared actually when the companies decide to go to the countryside, because it's all about talent, eh. If you have the talent, if you have the qualified talent, then definitely the there's an ITBPM company that's willing to locate in your location.
Yeah, I think that's another thing which is oddly, I don't know if it's odd, but the promise of decentralizing development from Metro Manila. Tagal nang usapin yan eh. Everyone's talking about it. But I don't think there's any other
Mhm.
industry at the
Yeah.
moment that's poised to deliver it outside of IT BPM. Dati, we had semiconductors, manufacturing, yun, they're locating in Laguna and all these
Yeah,
industrial parks.
yeah. It's very physical kasi, 'di ba?
But
Oo.
I feel, I mean, I know that the growth in that industry has reached its parang plateau, no? And right now, we're highly
Mhm.
uncompetitive apparently because of many things like power costs, no, and other things.
Yeah.
They also have a talent problem. Ironically, then, and having done a report on semiconductors a couple of years ago, part of it is because of the
Mhm.
IT BPM industry, no? For example, as an electrical engineer, your entry level sahod
Mhm.
in a semiconductor is much lower than what you would have earned in a BPO. so
BPO.
many of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
so it's always a question. You're a fresh grad, EE, ECE. Do you stay true to your license and get underpaid for years with the hope of moving up the ranks in a semiconductor company? And sorry to
Mhm.
be very negative about it, but I'm quite passionate about it. There's so many structural problems in that industry that need to be fixed. And or you can go into an entry level BPO job, and because of your electrical engineering background, you will rise up
Mhm.
relatively fast, no? Kasi you've got your math, your programming, which are skills that are highly valued, no, in this sector.
Yeah, yeah.
Yun nga eh, parang cannibalization ang nangyayari na ngayon because sub-performing sectors are getting eaten up by IT-BPM because IT-BPM is doing much better.
Yeah. So they have to be competitive, 'di ba?
Oo.
So I think it raises the bar because we raise the bar. They
Yeah.
have to evolve also. They have to
Yeah, and
offer more.
you mentioned earlier then
Yes.
yung parental influence. It's a big problem, no? I don't know if it's a matter of age, a matter of time. Kasi ngayon, the earliest BPO workers are Gen X. They're probably pushing their 50s now, no, by this time. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so that
Right,
means
right.
their kids, I don't know what they're telling their kids. Siguro naman, they're also telling them, hey, you join the BPO because that's how So that's
Yeah,
how I
yeah.
raised our family, di ba? Parang ganun
Ako,
eh.
ano, I have a son who's in the industry.
Hmm.
Oh, ang issue lang, ang naging issue lang sa amin dati is that, ano, when yung mga times na may super typhoon, di ba?
Yeah.
Na parang walang public transport, and there's flood, there are floods everywhere. Na parang, oh, don't tell me you'll use my car. Parang, if you really have to go to work, find a way. I'm not
Yun ang
risking my car.
yan ang practical debate,
Yun
no?
na yung
Bahala ka,
issue.
kumuha ka ng kotse mo.
Oo, oo,
Yeah.
oo. Di
Yeah.
ba?
Yeah,
Especially with Metro Manila streets getting flooded at the slightest drizzle.
that's so
Di
true.
ba?
That is so true. Okay. Um, I know we can talk forever, but I think we need to save some for the next episode. So any parting thoughts at this point about BPOs, about careers, about whatever, about AI that you want to leave the audience, and then we should pick it up soon, no, with another episode.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. So yeah, just uh, very short uh, parting message actually. Uh, don't be scared of don't be scared of AI. Don't be scared of technology and how it's evolving.
Mm-hmm.
There's always an opportunity, if you're open to learning, because I've heard people say na parang we should control AI. We should control the use of AI because people will lose jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But if people will evolve, if we're open to learning, if we're open to learn about AI, then we don't have to risk our jobs won't be at risk, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
Let's There's no reason to fear it. I mean, there's everything to gain. And the same goes for the industry. Um, let's support the industry. Um, let's continue evolving with the industry. Uh, and there's everything to gain. I mean, there's so many jobs in the industry, so much growth to be had. We're only the we're already contributing 9% of the industry is already contributing 9% of GDP, and we're only able to corner a very small piece of the pie
Yeah.
in terms of IT BPM globally.
Mm.
If we can corner at least maybe even just 20% of the pie, ang laki. The country has everything to gain.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just that. Let's support growth. Let's support learning. Let's support the industry.
Yeah. And I think that's a good a place as any to end it. I want to thank you, Jenny, for sharing us some of your time. And yeah, looking forward to having another chat about the ITB. Let's keep saying it, the ITBPM life. And yeah, looking forward also to seeing the industry reach new heights. No, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Doc, for having me.